He is the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts in the thick of the AFC South hunt, right in the thick of the wild card race. He is Frank Reich. How are you, Frank?
Hey, Rich, how you doing?
I am doing fine. First things first, I saw that video of you talking to was it your granddaughter about teaching her to the 4 points of pressure to hold the football? I saw that video. That made it. That was beautiful, man. I mean, of course, you're welcome. I mean, how do you find time to be coaching a grandfather and a family?
That was actually after a game where the family was in, and we were all sitting around on a Sunday late afternoon, early evening, watching football. So having a good time as a family.
That's great. So okay, let's get into this here. I'll just point blank. I know you got to play him when you play him, and you got to take it when you take it. And I know you can only control what you can control. I gave you all the coaching cliches, trying to make sure you don't give me one right now. But when you watch a Monday night game like last night, do you hope that the Steelers win so you don't get them 3 straight losses and hungry and really angry? Does that actually play into any thought process for you, Frank?
Yeah. The human side of you thinks all those thoughts,
right?
But what's happened is, Rich, when you've been around the game as long as we have been around the game,
yes,
you realize that those are things out of your control. And so while those thoughts go through your mind, you've seen every scenario happen already, where good and bad. So what matters is how you prepare. To get back to the coaching cliches, back to how you get back to how you prepare
yeah.
and what we do. It's really about what we do, and so that is your focus.
Well, in terms of what we do, Frank, obviously you just mentioned how you're watching football after a game that you're playing with your family. Is it helpful that there's a Monday night football game with 22 high definition cameras and that you get to watch your opponent? Did you pick up something last night, for instance?
Well, we watch, and of course this year with all the audio, and you're listening to things, and
how about that?
Sometimes you pick some stuff up, but for the most part, you're just looking at personnel. Hey, you're getting refamiliar with their personnel and what they do, and we've already watched a bunch of tape on them, so it just kind of confirms some things that you were thinking.
Okay, so when you're saying the audio, because again, there were some fans in Cincinnati yesterday. I mean, how do you combat that, knowing that everybody is picking stuff up? And how do you game plan for something like that this year?
Yeah, you play along with the game, and we got a really experienced quarterback who knows how to play that game, and when we're making all the checks and all the things that we say at the line of scrimmage, we're throwing out just enough false information to keep people on their toes.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
So Philip is peppering stuff out there, just in case there are ears listening.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, you have to. I mean, that's part of the gamesmanship of it. I mean, those are some of the stories that you talk about 10 years from now. I mean, so yeah, and you can't obsess about that stuff, but you pick your spots. You pick your spots, and you throw out false information, and just to, like I said, keep them on their toes.
Well, Frank Reich here on the Rich Eisen Show. You've been around this sport a very long time. You've been around veterans. You've been around young quarterbacks. You've coached them both. Philip Rivers, did you learn anything about him that you didn't know? Have you picked anything up about Philip that you did not know over these first 15 weeks of coaching him, Frank?
I mean, yeah, just getting a chance to coach him for 3 years in San Diego,
right?
Knew what we were getting. What we were getting here. This guy's just an elite quarterback in this league, and he can do everything. He can make all the throws. He's a coach on the field. He's a great leader in the locker room and on the field. He's just a great competitor. Still has, the question is, physically at 39, can he still do it? And the answer is yes, and he's proving that.
Well, what about that foot? That everybody's talking about? I know you don't probably like talking about injuries, and I know that, but
it's getting better. I mean, it was pretty bad. The first week that he played on it, it was still pretty bad, but it's getting progressively better. Is he 100% yet? Probably not, but it's gotten better each week.
Frank Reich here on the Rich Eisen Show. And what about this young running back that you appear to be saddling up a little bit more in Jonathan Taylor? Walk me through his progression this year.
Yeah, he's a special kid, man. I mean, anybody that you just talk to this guy for 5 minutes and you're like saying, is this guy for real? He's just a great teammate, great human being, great competitor, accountable, just hard worker, learner, and then he's just super uber talented. He's big, strong, and fast, and smart. So he's just gotten better and better as the year goes on. And so yeah, we're starting to feed him a little bit more. But you know, if you watch our offense long enough, you know that yeah, he's going to get his touches, but Naheem Hines is a really good back, and
right.
Jordan Wilkins, you know, coming off the bench, we got a lot of confidence in him, and you know, we like to spread it around.
And obviously, T.Y. Hilton appears to be coming on strong. There seems to be some sort of connection with him in particular. Obviously, there's so many other receivers that you have with Phillip that the two of them are sort of on the same page. Is that an accurate assessment for you?
Yeah, no doubt. And it is, you know, he had a couple games early on where he could have had some breakout games. We had a couple freaky things happen where, you know, penalties that were called, you know, he's got a big catch and he gets called back, and, you know, so a couple games that might have been close to 100-yard games. But so the bigger production hasn't come until in recent weeks. But, man, he's, you know, it's late in the year, and he feels like he's running faster than he's run all year. He still is an instinctive route runner. He makes a big-time clutch play, obviously, in the game, you know, on 2nd and 20, you know, down the middle in a game-winning drive. So, he's a great leader. You know, he's just one of the best leaders and teammates I've ever been around.
So, I mean, it seems like things are obviously trending upward. Things are I'm wondering what it feels like for you. You've been around championship teams. You've been on them. You've coached them, okay? I mean, what does it feel like with you right here? I know you don't want to also state something that could be bulletin board material, but what does it feel like to you with this team in its current standing with 2 weeks to go here in championship hopes?
Yeah, that's easy. I mean, we haven't accomplished anything yet. I mean, we put ourselves in. I should say it this way: we put ourselves in good position to play meaningful games. We're still playing meaningful games. We're not in anything yet. We got to play well this week. So what you do is you keep a healthy tension. What it feels like to me, to answer your question specifically, what it feels like to me is it feels like a healthy tension. It feels like we're in a locker room of guys who really believe we're good. But it also feels to me like we're in a locker room where guys feel like we got to work our butts off every week because you got to prove it every single day you're out on the practice field. That's what it feels like when you're on a good team.
Certainly, since it feels like a double-digit win team's going to be left at home in an 8 seed, outside looking in, even in an expanded playoff.
Yeah, there's no doubt it's going to happen. And so that's why, you know, we got to keep pressing. I mean, there's nothing given to us. We can't take anything for granted. We have, you know, an opportunity this Sunday that's against a really good football team, and you know, we got to play our best game of the year.
Well, and again, if you'll indulge me in the couple minutes we have left here, Frank Reich of the Indianapolis Colts here on the Rich Eisen Show, stepping outside of your team, if you don't mind. A quarterback you used to be a coach for in Carson Wentz is out of the starting position, as we know, in Philadelphia. And a lot of people are questioning whether he can be a starter in this league again. I'm wondering what your thoughts on that subject might be.
Well, you know, Rich, you know, right now, honestly, I'm really just focused on the guys. It's a fair question, but I'm more focused on the quarterbacks on our roster. I know and love Carson, a close friend of mine, and I think he's a really good player. You know, have a lot of belief and confidence in him personally. But right now, I'm just more focused on our guys.
Okay, and then also, I don't know if you saw this scene that Sean McDermott and the Bills returned to after clinching the AFC East for the first time since 1995, the year after you left there, after being there since the 80s, with all the fans showing up. I wonder what your thoughts were when you saw this scene, if you hadn't. We're showing it right now. Frank?
I had great thoughts. And I'm very happy to see that. You know, I got a ton of respect for Sean McDermott and the job he's doing with the Bills. And, you know, even though they're an AFC team, I still have close ties to Buffalo, and I still root for the Bills. I'm very happy for their success and Coach McDermott's success, and for the fans of Western New York. You know, I mean, it's a good group of fans, and so I did see that highlight, and it did bring back good memories of a great sports city there.
When was the last time you spoke to Jim Kelly? How he's doing, Frank? When was the last time that happened?
We speak via text during the season. It's just text every couple of weeks, but doing great. You know, he's incredible. Obviously, we're very close, and just a lot of love and support going two ways here. Just one of the all-time great teammates and friends I've had in this business.
And then last one for you, too. I'm sure you looked over a line of scrimmage and saw Kevin Greene on the other side in your day. Wonder what your thoughts on his passing and just recalling his prowess on the field, Frank.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, because we were talking about it this morning, a group of us coaches, and just ultimate respect and love for Kevin. I mean, we weren't close personal friends, never played with him or coached with him, but played and coached against him many times, had many conversations on the field. And this guy's just a class act. And the way he played, the way he coached, he had this way about him, this positivity about him, this energy about him that was infectious, and just very, very sad to hear of his passing.
It is, and it just makes you think. Again, you just got to have those moments and enjoy them when you have, which is exactly what I thought when I saw you with your granddaughter. And again, is she coachable, though? Not to get too personal.
She's still got some work to do.
Okay.
She's still got some work to do.
On the security? Okay, yeah. It did look like she was holding it high and tight, though, Frank. Looked like she had that thing going.
She was. I was proud of her. And
I'm assuming there are siblings and other kids or cousins in the house that can try and bat the ball away. So she's got to get this thing straightened out, I imagine.
No doubt. It's a competitive household.
Yes, I'm sure. Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck down the road, and let's connect again. Happy holidays to you and yours. Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Rich.
Thanks. You got it. That's Frank Reich, Indianapolis Colts. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.